How's it going, Crustacean Nation? Welcome back to Coach's Corner on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. It gives fans like you an inside look to the games and goings-on for the team. As of recording, the team is 6-0, leads the Continental Division, and they're the only undefeated team remaining in the FPHL. As always, I'm your host, Matteen Rad, and I'm joined by Rock Lobster head coach Garrett Rutledge. Coach, 2 games with somewhat similar score lines, but very different storylines. Game 1, we struck 3 times in the first period and never really looked back. We'll take a look at some of the individual performances there, but it feels like we have to start with Carter McPhail, who kept his second shutout in 3 games. His body language reads to me as just someone who is so confident in the crease right now. I'm sure you see it on the ice. Has that been something that you've been seeing off the ice as well?
Yeah, he's an amazing human. He's a great teammate for our players. He's been an exceptional pickup for the Rock Lobsters. Every time he's in the net, he's very much in tune with the team. He cheers the guys on. Even media timeouts, he's over there just providing like that extra little oomph, I guess, to make sure the guys know that we're dialed in and everybody's behind him and keep going and keep grinding. And he's kind of one of those faces and that voice that you hear on the ice that you know he's got the team's back when we need him most, and when something breaks down, he's back there for us. He makes a big stop for us when we need it.
You and Coach Kyle have both coached goalies before, but aren't out-and-out goalie coaches. I wanted to know how you approach coaching a goaltender and what that might look like from your perspective.
Well, I like a goalie in the Federal Hockey League to be explosive and a guy that likes to challenge in battles around the net. What I mean by battles and second and third pucks, he's very side to side. He's not afraid to come out and make a play and challenge a shooter to beat him and stuff. Some of the goalies that are like kind of lethargic a little bit, that kind of play off their angles, that are just like to the post, middle, over to the next side, making saves, which that's fine. Higher levels, that's where a lot of shots come from. But the Federal Hockey League, you get those second and third chances. You got to have a goalie that likes to battle in that crease and swallows those pucks up.
On the offensive side of things, what stuck out to me in Friday night's game was that the passes that set the goals up were the highlight of every goal, not the goal themselves, the passes that set them up. You have fostered in the early stage of this season a great chemistry off the ice. Do you feel that you see the products of that chemistry on the ice as well?
Yeah, I feel like no one on our team cares who scores the goal. I think they're all in it together, and I think that's credit to our players and how close they are and how much they love coming to work, I guess, every day. We do a lot in practice, and I tell them all the time the small details into this drill and stuff that we're working on will bring you those highlight reel tap-in goals kind of thing if we do it properly and we work at it. So credit to our guys. They've stayed the course since the beginning of training camp, basically, and put that into their game and into their skills and details when they're watching video and we're doing things on the ice. Then it obviously transpires onto the ice, scoring goals. And like I said, it just becomes a habit for us.
Speaking of chemistry, the partnership of Garrett Milan and Neiley just continues to impress and impress. But how much of that partnership is about 2 guys that are really gelling with each other, that have that kind of chemistry? And how much of it is those are just 2 really good hockey players?
Listen, they're 2 leaders. They've played a lot of hockey games at a very high level. They're selfless hockey players. Like, they're on the bench, they're coaching, they coach through how they play. They also are not afraid to tell a young guy or anybody what's going on or what they should have done there, or like, and what I mean by that, it's not like yelling and screaming. It's just in a positive way, or like ideas of what works, and putting those 2 together is, again, when we need a shift or something, to a little pushback, those 2 guys are usually the ones rolling over the boards there, and you can see them take over shifts at times, and then obviously scoring some big goals for us, making plays.
We saw a great disparity between the Rock Lobsters and the Thunderbirds in terms of both teams' special teams. Nothing highlighted that more in game 1, when it felt like there were pathways for Twin City back in that game with a couple of 5-on-3 power plays, and still they couldn't find the back of the net. I think journalists and guys like me ask coaches these kinds of questions, even though the answer is never black and white, it's never cut and dry. But I'll ask anyway, do you feel like those moments had more to do with how sharp we were on the PK, or with how flat and sometimes dejected it felt like the Twin City team was?
I feel like our group gets up for moments like that. I think it's a big point in the hockey game. I think that was the message on the bench too. Like, this is a big turning point in the game. We need to shut things down right now. And I think our guys are up for a challenge. Like, I think they like a bit of a challenge. They like to go down a little bit and play the kind of the villain role a little bit on the PK, you might say. So with that being said, I know when you only got 3 guys out there and they're doing such a great job filling lanes and blocking shots and putting their heart on the sleeve for the Rock Lobsters. And obviously Carter McPhail is one of our best penalty killers, and William Lavalier, your goalie, has to be our best penalty killers. So obviously you see that, and then you can see the momentum turn when we get a few big kills like that. Again, back to McPhail on those plays. You see a couple shots, he makes saves, or a rebound comes up, he puts it up over the glass into the netting there, and then we can get a line change. So it's little things like that where his experience has paid dividends for us killing penalties and stuff. As long as he can see it, he's going to stop it or give us a good opportunity to. So, and again, our guys stay tight in that house, and they believe in each other, and they know they're going to make plays. So it's awesome to see.
We moved to the game 2 on Saturday, and man, it just felt like it was a game of 3 completely different periods. You've got an extremely competitive first period, maybe the most competitive of the 9 that we've played against them so far. We outshot them in the second period, but I still felt like it was clear that we needed an extra gear in the third. And boy, I mean, did we find it? Outshot them 25-5 in the third period. Was there anything memorable said by you or any of the leaders in the locker room during the second intermission?
My message was clear. We just needed more second and third pucks on net. I thought we were kind of a little bit just like, I don't know, sleepy at times, one and done, kind of no interior in the O-zone, no getting the second rebound, kind of hard on pucks, making it hard for Carolina. We kind of played into their game plan for a little bit of whether they're playing the trap mentality or a little bit of a sleepy game per se. And then once we finally figured out just getting pucks down the bottom third of the O-zone and start grinding some shifts on the Twin City there was kind of our game plan. And once we got into the game there and started to figure out a bit, we didn't play a bad game. I thought we played well. I thought the boys, again, I thought they executed pretty well. Just things weren't going in the net. We were kind of on the perimeter, and Skinner was seeing a lot of shots. But once we finally got in the interior and cracked through, we opened the floodgates for some goals.
We talked a little bit earlier about the duality of the special teams between Twin City and Athens, and it showed once again in the third period of Saturday's game when the Thunderbirds just started to take, honestly, some puzzling penalties. First, I want to ask you, when Gleb Van Durken gets sent face first into the glass, did that feel like a rallying point and a turning point for the team in the third at all?
Yeah, it's kind of one of those plays. Gleb's a high-end player. He gets hit pretty hard. Like, again, it's credit to Gleb. Like, players like him that have that skill set are willing to put themselves out there to take a hit to score a goal kind of thing. But at the end of the day, I always tell the guys, you got to hit the score kind of. So it's one of those unfortunate penalties for Twin City at a bad time of the game kind of thing, down in your zone. That's kind of unnecessary, if I'm being honest. Like, again, should have Carter. It was Carter, right? Don Carter, I think.
No, I think it was Light Smith.
Smith comes in. Instead of probably taking it back now, maybe you just angle Gleb off, put him in the boards, get him pinned up, then and get a battle going, right? Instead, he chooses to go for the big hit and then ends up getting a penalty, and then the ball starts rolling. It just goes to show you how fast you can lose a hockey game on a decision. So these are little things that, again, Matteen, that I've told you throughout playoffs, that when we get to playoff time, this is where you got to hit the score. You've got to, these small little decisions in the game, you got to be able to control your emotions and know what you're doing out there, because, again, it can end up back of your net real quick and you can be chasing the puck quick.
After that play, Gleb is slow to get back up to his feet. He ends up back in the game and on a different power play, gets the game-winning goal 4 minutes later. I know a magician never reveals his secrets, but how in the world did we pull off that trade for him? I mean, he seems like such a slam dunk profile to land here, and he's shown every bit of that since coming in.
Hey, it was fortunate for us. I got the call. I seen his numbers from last year, did a few phone calls on him and heard he was an amazing kid. Gleb's kind of quiet, just quietly goes about his business. So credit to him, be able to make a play, and then obviously getting the winning goal. It's one of those things, you take a hit, make a play kind of thing. And I don't know, we're glad to have him. And like I said, however it worked out from Danbury, and it's a pleasure having him. And obviously the connection him and Croucher and Danny have had together has been fun to watch.
Yeah, speaking of Croucher, I had made a mistake in that game where I saw an Athens player on the puck and I said, oh, Luke Croucher. I did a double take and it was actually Garrett Milan that was on the puck. It was easy enough for me to draw parallels in that moment, but do you see the similarities between those two? And what would you want Crouchy to learn from Millsy in the time that they're going to be playing together?
Well, if he can score more goals, that'd be great. So if he can score as many as Milan, that'd be awesome. No, I think they're two kind of comparable guys. I think they're just like, I've said it before, like guys that move their feet are always around the puck, no matter what in the game of hockey. It doesn't matter what level you look at. Guys that are skating all the time, guys that are moving through the neutral zone, tracking pucks in the defensive zone, that transfer hard, east-west, and in the O zone when they're moving around. Even when you don't have the puck, it puts you around the puck all the time. So you're always in good ice. You're always in good position to make a play. So both those players have that ability to see that on the ice. They are motors for our hockey team. They are the pulse of our team kind of thing. Really quickly, I think you can see that Croucher's come in and he's been a motivator for our hockey club. Even being a younger guy, he still he doesn't play with a lot of fear. He gets in there. He's a smaller guy, but he gives an honest effort every single shift. And like I said, he hounds pucks, and he's hard to play against because every time he gets knocked down, he's right back up and his feet are moving again. And again, he's just hunting pucks all the time and creating turnovers. And then back the other way we go, and we use our skill, and hopefully it ends at the back of our net.
I very, very rarely ask about players from other teams, but I thought it was an interesting question. Jacob Schnapp scored in that game for the T-Birds, and I wanted to ask you about him. I just think he's a unique profile, and you could correct me if you think I'm wrong. He's like someone almost out of a bygone era. I think some Athens players who went up against him last year would, probably call him an agitator, an irritator. I looked it up, and he was someone that you brought in when you arrived in Carolina. Coaching him and now coaching against him, do you feel like he does have that unique profile?
Yeah, when like Jacob's one of those guys that reached out to me as a Florida kid, didn't know much about him, come in, he scored 3 goals against Columbus his first game. I thought he was the best player in the entire world. So he's been unreal for the fan base in Carolina. He's done a lot for Twin City, like in the organization, and being a fan favorite there. Like people love Jacob. Jacob's an unreal human, great guy. Again, his persona on the ice is kind of a little different off the ice. If you ever met Jacob, he's a great guy, great kid. Again, the way he plays the game is when he's moving his feet again, he's laying the body and he's being that instigator. That's when he's at his best. He hangs around the net. He's got good hands. He's got good vision, and he's a big body, and he barks a lot on the ice, and he says a lot of things in between the benches and stuff like that. So he can do it. He does that villain role very well. I think there's a need for in the game for guys like him. I think he does it well. And again, I can't say anything bad about the kid because, like I said, he does his role very well. He hangs around the net, and when he gets the opportunity, he puts it in the back of the net.
There's a few guys that you coached on that team that are still there. Were there any interactions between you and any of their boys, whether it was in the rink, outside the rink, during the game, after the game, anything like that?
Yeah, just quick hellos and stuff like that. Talked to Coach Harry a bunch of times there. There wasn't really many conversations, to be honest. We're kind of doing business in Athens here for the Rock Lobsters, and they're doing their thing. So, but it was good to see familiar faces, and obviously getting those wins and stuff like that here at home obviously is awesome. So, but no, not really much. There wasn't much transpiring. It was pretty quiet, to be honest.
Well, now we look ahead to the upcoming weekend, and the Rock Lobsters welcome the Monroe Moccasins for the first time this season to Aikens Ford Arena. In the games between these two teams last year, it felt like there was a genuine hatred between these two teams. Were you aware of this rivalry, if you want to call it that? And if so, how were you made aware?
Yeah, I was actually. I've been following along quite a bit in the Federal Hockey League. I know some of the things that go on within the league and all the ownerships, and doesn't really matter though. It's just hockey. Like I said, everybody has a kind of rival, and I feel like everybody's kind of a rival. You can have a rival start up in a matter of one shift can be a start into a rival. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't think there's many rivals. I think you look at the other teams' rosters, and guys know each other on each team, and they know that like this is a good team coming in, and we can't mess around. We got to be at the best of our games, and I feel like there's a lot to prove. So once you get two good teams, I feel like that's what everybody's paid for the ticket to watch, and it's going to be a good show on Saturday, Sunday.
they're having a strong start thus far. They're tied for the second best win percentage in the league. And, if you've been reading the news, they have, I'm sure, what feels like a weight off their shoulders as well. What do you think we need to watch out for with the Moccasins this weekend?
Yeah, just their forward group. I think their forward group's real good. I think they're deep up front. Like I said, time and space. You can't let guys jump by you. You can't let guys get a second, third chance in the O zone and stuff. We got to kill plays quick and take their time and space away. They have exceptional players. You give guys a little bit of room out there, they're going to find their next play. And then once they get you on the run, they're deadly. So I think discipline's going to be a big one too. You don't want to let them on the power play. Like, I feel like could be a big special teams battle this weekend. Who's going to be the most disciplined team's probably going to get the win. I feel like they're going to be tight hockey games, which I'm looking forward to, getting our group involved in that, and like a lot of like hard times kind of thing. Not hard times, but just like good, tough hockey kind of idea, and grinding through the 60 minutes and trying to find a win instead of just cruising to a victory.
It feels like there's always a target on our back whenever we play Monroe. Do you feel like that target is bigger given that we're the only undefeated team in the FPHL right now?
I think you're going to see everybody play us the exact same way, to be honest with you. I think every team's going to come in here, or whether we go in there, they're going to try to beat us like on any given night. I think that's the stepping stone. We want to be the bar where everybody wants to beat us. I think like we want to be the best. We want to have that mentality. We want to be the team that everybody wants to beat kind of thing. And like that way, the competition for our team is night in, night out. It's going to be unreal. So again, it's good for the league. It's good for our team. It's good for coaching. It's good for fans. Like who's not invested in a good hockey game on a Saturday night in Athens here, with back and forth hockey, and the two rosters are going to be put out there are going to be highly skilled, and there's going to be a lot to showcase for the game of hockey here Saturday night.
In the past, and I haven't watched enough of their games this year to really say, but in the past, the Moccasins have been one of those teams to try and egg us on to play the kind of game that they want, which is, often enough, there's a lot of penalties, a lot of fights. The only other time we've really seen that this season was in Indiana, and Indiana just didn't really have the firepower to back it up. With Monroe kind of being known for that, especially against us, do you have to choose your words carefully with your team at all? Are you trying to rile your team up, or do you want them to play that game? Or you're saying, hey, guys, play smart, put the puck in the back of the net because that's what you're good at, and beat them on the ice, not with your fists?
I think we have to be calm and cool. I think the team, like I said before, the team that's going to be able to walk away from those scrums, walk away from those kind of dumb penalties after the whistle and stuff like that, that's the team that's going to win. At the end of the day, both teams know that if they can get under each other's skin and draw a penalty on special teams, chances are you're going to win the hockey game if you win the special teams night in, night out. Doesn't matter who it is. But once you get two good hockey teams, it comes down to special teams, basically. So I feel like, I think all the guys know what's at stake. I think they want to keep rolling here. At the end of the day, it's just another hockey game, to be honest with you, Matteen. We don't look at it any different. We play our game. Said if you want to run and gun on us and take penalties and stuff, it's going to hurt you in the long run. So eventually the Rock Lobsters are going to score here, and we just take care of business the way it is.
Military Appreciation Night is Saturday in the tank. Veterans Day after that on Tuesday. I know it's Remembrance Day in Canada. Is there someone that you'll be remembering, Coach?
Yeah, I think everybody in general, though, like a lot of people have served overseas and done a lot of things and a lot of time over history to allow us to be able to coach and play hockey on a Saturday night and do what we do. So it's credit to them to be able to give back with the jersey sales and all that kind of stuff, the honoring the troops and like all the flags and all that kind of stuff. So it's a great game. It's one of my favorite games, definitely, for sure, just because we're able to do what we do because of all the sacrifices people have given over the years.
The Rock Lobster fans, you're not going to want to miss Military Appreciation Night this Saturday, November 8th at Aikens Ford Arena, presented by Stanfield Air Systems. The Lobsters will hit the ice in special military jerseys, and each one will be up for grabs in our first post-game jersey auction of the year. You can also support our service members through the Hockey for Heroes campaign. Just look under the Fan Zone tab at rocklobstershockey.com. Also, grab your replica jerseys at the Rock Shop while they last, and grab your tickets now. That's the Coach's Corner. That does it for Coach Rutz and me. We'll see you next week.